Quick note, this is an AI-assisted, 5-minute recap of a Claude Platform panel, made for learning. It condenses a much longer talk. The framing is a real shift. Agents are moving from tools you prompt one command at a time, to infrastructure that quietly runs your business in the background. 6 months ago, the panel says, the platform was mostly an API for inference and tokens. Now richer features take the infrastructure and harness engineering off your hands. So what are customers most excited about? The team points to managed agents as the standout, with feedback that's been genuinely great. People love new concepts like memory and outcomes, an agent that holds context across a whole task, and keeps working toward a goal you define. One favorite is refreshingly old school, a developer who simply loved the clean abstraction levels, with the messy plumbing kept hidden. As workflows evolve, one idea keeps returning: agent identity. Increasingly, the panel argues, an agent needs an identity of its own. Give an agent an outcome and it replies, to do this, I need access to A, B, C and D. You allow A, B and C, but not D. The agent then creates a kind of service account for itself, goes and does the work, and everything it touches stays auditable. You can tell they're API nerds. Their instinct is that agents should talk to each other through APIs. Build an agent, then expose an API, or a thin MCP server, so another agent can call into it exactly the way a person would. People are already doing genuinely creative things, wrapping a managed agent in a neat little MCP server that any other agent knows exactly how to reach and call into. Why are these workflows suddenly viable at all? First, the models simply got a lot better, so the old non-determinism that used to break things is far less of a problem today. You used to bolt on huge scaffolding and rigid standard procedures. Now, within reasonable guardrails, the model figures out its own steps. And agents now run for much longer, sitting ambient in a workspace, getting triggered by an event, working away for a while, then coming back to you when they're actually ready. That lets the harness get thinner. As the model grows more capable, you can delete the fragile, restrictive boxes that used to cage it in. In their place come what you might call meta-harnesses. The panel half jokes about calling them saddles, that combine several different strategies at once. Agents compete on a problem. One proposes while another plays adversary, or a stuck model uses an advisor strategy and calls a smarter friend. The examples are striking. A hackathon winner tackled a factory problem. The lone expert who understands the machines learns for decades, then retires. By feeding in the procedures and live signals from the plant, agents learn to mimic that judgment, a living backup for knowledge that used to walk out the door. Others build end-to-end systems that go beyond writing code, handling requirements, the pull request, and QA. Shopify described one they call River. So if it's this powerful, why isn't everyone already flying? The biggest barriers, the panel says, are security and compliance guardrails, plus having solid evals you can actually trust. Many teams still run on security assumptions from 20 years ago, and agents change everything, so the old safety checklist has to be rewritten. Pushing that new idea of a safe agent uphill, and revising the rules, has been a real journey, the price of trusting agents with real work. How should you actually measure ROI? Skip the tempting urge to agentify 100 giant old processes all at once. Start, instead, from a single individual. See how much faster that one person gets, then a team, then a whole company process. Lead with speed and productivity, the financial metrics follow. And an engineering team still looks familiar, the same humans who understand the system and stay on call when it breaks, but each one is turbocharged, orchestrating their Claudes. There are failure modes too. Agents can breed a false sense of hyper-independence, where everyone builds 10 prototypes and nobody coordinates, so work sprawls. But the future they see is an invisible substrate, less a tool you reach for, more an operating system, with proactive agents that fix a problem and hand you the pull request. In the end, it comes down to outcomes and a budget. Tell Claude what good looks like, give it a budget to spend, and say go. Making that effortless, they say, is the gap the platform wants to fill.